I have been to 53 funerals, some sad, some celebrations of life. In my family, we like to leave you laughing. I began planning my funeral 10 years ago, when I found that YouTube video of Steven Tyler singing Amazing Grace. It's adorable. I watched it every morning for an entire year.
Man, that's dedication.
You see, I want to be Steven Tyler. Note the dress. His face is up here, down there. I just want to know what it feels like to be the best at something and know you're the best at it. But instead, I've made him into a hobby. I've drove all my friends to concerts. I've put a Aerosmith soundtrack to a screenplay. I've met him and visited with him twice, and he's lovely. And I suspect the feeling might be mutual because he hasn't placed a restraining order on me yet. 8 years ago, I was in a brightly lit, cold white room in a blue paper dress, cut all the way down the front. Mammogram time. I was still holding my breast. Wait, what'd I say? No, somebody else was holding my breast. I was still holding my breath after the first picture was taken when the tech grabbed the phone. Doctor, don't go to lunch. You know they're trained not to do that. She comes back in, now you need a sonogram. So she does the sonogram. At the end of that, with a bad look on her face, she nervously says, I gotta find a doctor. And she goes out. I don't know, maybe it was her first day. Maybe it was her last day. She left me in that room for 5 minutes to 5 hours. The walls started to close in. It got colder, it got darker. I could hear my heartbeat slowing down. I was scared. And that's when I first heard the voices. Not me, I'm too young, get out of here. I stayed there a little while longer. Finally, the doctor came in. He studied the screen. And then with a lilt in his voice, he said, Miss Newton, you have some teeny tiny, they use medical terms, you have some teeny tiny calcifications in your breast that mean absolutely nothing unless it's cancer.
Wow.
You need a biopsy. Well, that shook me. I decided right then I was not going to panic. Then I started to panic. Of course, at home, I consulted the internet on possible outcomes.
Oh, not good.
Which that started the war between the light and the dark in me, or an unusually late onset of schizophrenia, because it should pop up in your 20s, because voices were screaming at me in my head now. No, that's not enough time. Shorten your bucket list. Start guitar lessons. Rewrite your will. Where's that damn video? And then a quiet voice that said, calm down, make a list. I love lists. So I made a list. 1, start going to church so the preacher will know me. 2, pick some upbeat songs that everybody knows the words to. 3, write down my headstone quote. I've known it for years. She loved God, her son, and Aerosmith. Not sure in what order. 4, plan the reception. For that, I need numbers. I don't know who's going to come. Maybe nobody will come. You know, people are busy these days. Damn pickleball.
Oh, that's to me, directly.
5, make more friends. Be nice to my neighbors.
That's me.
And talk to strangers. 6, send the obit to Steven Tyler. Marcy, write this down.
Okay.
1309 West Wind, all one word, Way, Lahaina, Maui.
We have his
You thought I
address.
didn't know his address?
We have his address.
7, call the attorney. How, we need to revise the will. He said, what now? We've revised it several times for my son named Will. The first one was the will is still a minor will. The next one was the will has chosen a private college will. The third and current one was Will makes more money than I do, Will. And he gets a thank you note for being successful. And I spent his inheritance traveling and taking comedy classes.
Yes. Woo.
Sunday night, I was exhausted, and drinking was my new hobby. But my ducks were lined up. I had borrowed a Xanax from a neighbor to get through the needle biopsy. Thank you, Darla. And my funeral was neatly planned. I had the biopsy. It came back negative. Nothing to worry about.
Woo.
Thank you. Time goes by. I have 3 clear mammograms. I'm eating healthier. I don't drink. I rarely drink. I drink less. And I have a Peloton bike. My doctor thinks I'm riding. So the fear was gone. Everything was fine. And then we had a pandemic. And for some reason, they threw me into the older, more at risk category. So I went home and pulled up my funeral plan and made it the screensaver on my desktop. Which leads us back to my initial request. I want a closed red casket. Becky, I know you're on Amazon right now. There's one for $8.99, free shipping. So if any of you find yourself at my funeral sooner rather than later, enjoy yourself, laugh, sing along, clap, and then at the end, say to the person next to you, you know why the casket's closed, don't you? She's not in there. She finally ran off with Steven Tyler. They're at his place on Maui. Thank you.